Identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but names given to a class or a interface or a method or a variable or a constant given to recognize them uniquely in the program. In this class, if I say look at the screen, everybody is looking at this one. Why? It is a unique name given to this element to identify it. When I say projector, everyone look at the projector. In the group of people, if I want to recognize you, how do I recognize? Based on your name. When I say Ravi, only Ravi will respond. When I say Kiran, only Kiran will respond. Now in this group of people, if I want to recognize you, you are recognized based on your name. Similarly, when I am writing a program, there are 100 variables. How do you identify or distinguish each variable? For every variable, we give a different name. I have 10 classes. How do you recognize each class? For every class, we give one different name. I have 10 methods. How do you recognize every method separately? We give a different name for every method. So, identifier is nothing but it's a name given to a variable or a method or a constant or a class or an interface to recognize them uniquely in the programming. I hope I am clear. Again, people, if you are writing the notes while I am explaining, neither you follow my discussion, nor you will be able to read the notes. I will not give that sufficient time to write the notes. So notes also you will not be able to write. Spend your time in listening to my conversation. Notes I will copy it in the account. You can copy paste. Okay. I am making very clear. While I am going for explanation, you will not be able to write the notes. You make 100% attempt also, you will not be able to write the notes. Now, if you are busy in writing the notes, you will be losing my conversation also. Spend the time in listening to my conversation. Notes I will copy it on the notepad. You can copy from there. Right. So fine. Or first class I'll give a time for you to write the notes. So look at the format. Identifiers. What is an identifier? It is a name given to a class or interface or a method or a variable or a constant in the program to recognize them uniquely in the it is a name given to a class or a interface or a method or a variable or a constant in the program to recognize them uniquely. Now, next one. When you are giving a name, we follow certain rules. Let me give you. Now, if you want to give a name to your son, will you give Ravi underscore 123? No, right? When you want to give a name to your daughter, you will not give, okay, Divya at the rate of 123 underscore 4. No, right? So when you want to give name to your son or a daughter, you follow certain rules. That name should contain only alphabets. Name should have meaning in some Telugu or Hindi or Sanskrit. Like this, we follow certain rules. Similarly, when you are writing the names for identifiers, when you are giving name for an identifier, similarly, you are supposed to follow certain rules. Even the identifiers follow certain rules for their names. What are they? Identifier names can contain digits, zero to 9, alphabets, underscore, dollar. Identifier name can consist of digits, alphabets underscore dollar. Note. Name should not start with digit. Name should not start with the digit. No white spaces are accepted. White spaces means blanks. No. Example. Account wrapper. Age. A1. Now we can have alphabets, numbers, digits. Identifier name can consist of alphabets, digits, underscore, dollar. Should not start with blank spaces are not accepted. Student name. This should be a continuous word. It should not start with a digit. Special characters are not accepted. So when you are defining a identifier name, they can have alphabets, digits, and underscore dollar. Alphabets, underscore, digits, dollar. Right. Next one. When you are giving identifier names, we have to follow naming conventions. What are the naming conventions we have? Upper camel. What is this upper camel? When I say upper camel, every word, first letter should be capital. Like I give example. Student data. Account wrapper. Invoice pitch. Quote line items. Every word, first letter should be capital. When we use this upper camel, this naming convention is used while defining name for classes or interfaces. Whenever you want to give a name for a class or an interface, the name should be in the form of upper camel. Whenever we are giving a name for a class or an interface, it should be in the form of upper camel. When I say upper camel, every word, first letter should be capital. So it is called upper camel naming convention. Next we have Lower camel. What is this lower camel? First word, first letter should be small. Remaining words, first letter should be capital. First word, first letter should be small. Remaining words, first letter should be capital. Now when I go to this, get G small, N capital. Student invoice So look at this. First word, first letter should be. First word, first letter should be small. Remaining words, first letter should be capital. There is only one word. First word, first letter should be small. Remaining words, first word should be capital. When we use this naming, we use this naming convention. We use this naming convention for variables. We use this naming convention for variables or methods. We use these naming conventions for defining names for variables and methods. So whenever you want to give a name for a method or a variable, we use this. Whenever we want to give a names for variable or a method, we use this. I repeat, whenever we want to give names for a variable or a method, we use this. Lower camel. Next we have uppercase. Uppercase. When I say uppercase, every word, every letter should be capital. Every word, every letter should be capital. Every word, every letter should be capital. What is the purpose of this? This is used to define names for constants. Example, max. Max amount, min salary. Now every word, every letter should be capital. Then we have lowercase. Every word, every letter is small. This naming convention is used names for packages. Every word, every letter should be small. So basically identifiers. What are identifiers? These are the names given to a class or an interface or a method or a variable or a constant to recognize them uniquely in the programming. These are the names given to a class, interface, method, variable or a constant to recognize them uniquely in the program. So whenever we are giving identifiers, the name should be given in the form of upper camel, lower camel, lowercase, uppercase. I hope you are good with this. Right. Now, your experience will be conveyed with the programming standards what you follow. It is not only the UI that is important. When you are not a fresher, when you are putting up an experience, it is also the format in which you write the program conveys your experience. So we are supposed to follow the programming fundamental rules. So it's like naming conventions, like commenting. Okay, these are some rules which you are supposed to follow to convey. There is a difference between a program what a fresher writes and experienced guy writes. So you need to obey the good programming practices while you write a program. So one such good practice is following the naming conventions. So that somebody after you, when you write a program, after 6 months some other developer is working on the same program, he should understand what this is. Now he should not break his head to understand what the program is. Right? So you need to follow certain good naming conventions. So that when you look at this, okay, it is a class, it is an interface, it is a method, it is a variable. Right? That is easy for me to recognize where I have to search. Right? So if it is a trigger, there is a particular format. If it is a batch box, particular format. Web service call is a particular format. Like that, we need to obey certain naming conventions for us. So if somebody look at your program, you have to know this class is a web service class. This is a trigger class. This is a batch box class. Like that, he has to understand and refer to the code. Right, boss? So follow good naming conventions. Right. Next we have keywords. What are keywords? What are keywords? Now, if I go to engineering college, if I say ECE, what does it mean? Let me go to any engineering college. If I say ECE, Electronics Communication Engineering. Now let me go to any engineering college. ECE means the same, right? When I say CSE, let me go to any engineering college. The meaning of the CSE is the same. Now if I go to any bank, use the word called saving account, PF account, current account, credit card, debit card. Will the meaning change? Let me go to any bank. Let any customer go to any bank. When you use the word called saving account, PF account, current account, credit card, debit card, loan, the meaning is same. Banks may be different. The meaning of the word is same, right? So the banking people will follow certain naming conventions. They are following certain names or keywords to convey their business. So banking people are using some terminology. Wherever we use this word, meaning is fixed. Wherever I use this word, meaning is fixed. Wherever I use this word, meaning is fixed. Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Right? In the engineering college, we have some names. In the bank, there is some terms. Like that, everyone, according to their business, they follow certain words. The meaning of the words are fixed. Let anybody use it. The meaning of the word is fixed. The meaning of the word is fixed. You people use some WhatsApp messages, right? Some shortcut message will be there, right? Let anybody type. The meaning of the word is same, right? Yeah, people are very fast in their WhatsApp. Okay, use some shortcut notations, right? I Google it to see the meaning of it. Right. Now, so you'll be finding some messages, right? The shortcut message. Now the people who are regularly using it, they know the meaning of this word. Now what is it? Let anybody use the word, meaning is the same. So there are some fixed words whose meaning is fixed. There are some words whose meaning is fixed. Let anybody use it. The meaning of the word is fixed. The meaning doesn't change. Such type of words we call it as keywords. In the maths we use add, subtract, log. Okay, integration, differentiation, there's some words. The meaning doesn't change. Like that, every programming language also define their own words. Define their own words whose meanings are fixed. Let anybody use these words, meaning remains the same. Let anybody use this word, meaning remains the same. Are you getting my point here? So every programming language define their own words whose meaning is predefined. The meaning of this word doesn't change irrespective of where we are using, irrespective of who is using. Such type of words are called keywords. What are the keywords? These are the reserved words. Meaning of these words predefined by the compiler. Meaning of this word remains same irrespective of where we use. All the keywords are in small letters. So, example, there are so many keywords. We give you some of the keywords which you know. So, we are using here class, interface, public, private, global, static, final, if, else, for, void, limit, offset, all, rows, virtual. Like this, there are so many words which are available. Okay. The meaning of these words are fixed. Doesn't matter where we use. Doesn't matter where we use. Irrespective of where we use, the meaning of these words are fixed. Such type of words are called keywords. Note: keywords should not be used as identifier names. Keywords should not be used as identifier names. Keywords are the reserved words. Meaning of these words doesn't change irrespective of where we use. All the keywords are represented in small letters. Right? Keywords should not be used as identifier names. Some of the keywords we have used: class, interface, public, private, global, protected, static, final, if else, for, while, do, void, limit, offset, all, rows, virtual, override, implements. Right. Generally used keywords. Extends. This type of keywords we are using. I hope you are good with this. Right. Let us go to the next topic, main one. Listen carefully. Now it is 10. Fixed value. Fixed value. When it is fixed, I will take it as a constant. When it is a fixed, we take it as a constant. Now I asked, I want to take an amount. Now I want to take a value. Sometime it will be 10, sometime it will be 20, sometime it is 50, sometimes it is 90. So what happened? It is not a fixed, it is changing. When the value is changing, I cannot give it like this. Then when the value is changing, we have to save these values in location. Okay, currently what is the value? We have to save in one location. That location is called a variable. The value is fixed. Straight away I give 10. No, the value is not 10. Sometimes it is 10, sometimes it is 20, sometimes it is 30. The value is changing. If the value changes time to time, then I have to save them in one location, right? Currently this is the value. Okay, currently it is 10, currently it is 20, currently it is 30. Now what happened? The value which changes, the value which keep changes, the value which keep changes, such type of values I have to store in one memory location. That memory location we are going to call it as variable. That memory location we are going to call it as variable. Are you getting my point? The value which keep changing, when the values keep on changing, how do you know what is the current value? That is the reason we'll keep a separate memory for it, and we say keep the current value in this. If you want to know what is the current value, go to that location, check what is the value. Are you getting? When the value is fixed, constant. When the value keeps changing, we call it as variable. I hope you're good. So, what is a variable? Look at the point. This is my memory. Now, this is the memory what I have. I have some value called Satish. Currently asked, which course you are taking? After 20 days, you may say integration. After 2 months, you may say lightning. Currently this is, I cannot guarantee. This may be modified. Now you may enter development, somebody may enter admin. Now I asked, what is your salary? Now next it may be 20,000, it may be 30,000, it can be modified. So what was that? We have taken a memory. In that memory, we are putting the value which keep changing. When the value of keys keep on changing, we create a memory. For that memory, we give a name. We create a memory, give a name for the memory. We create a memory, give a name for that memory. Now in that memory, we put the data. How are you going to refer to the value? With that name. I created a name, okay, created a memory. Created a memory. In that memory, I am storing the value. Value which is keep on changing. The value which keep changes, that value I am putting in that memory. Now that value we are referring with the name what we give to memory. For memory, we give a name, and the value which keep on changing, we are putting that value in that memory. How are you referring to this value? When I say course, value in this memory is coming. When I say amount, value in this memory is coming. EMP name, value in the memory is coming. Are you clear? When you go for variable, when the value varies. Now, the value is not fixed. While you are executing the program, while you are running the program, there is a possibility that the value may change. Such type of values we are going to define as variables. I hope you got my point. Now, during the execution of the program, if you feel that value may be changed, such type of values we are going to define as variables. I hope you are good. Now, variables. Variables are the names given to the memory location where we store the data and make the changes based on variables are the names given to the memory location where we store the data and make the changes during the runtime of a program. While executing the program, as per the logic, we keep on changing the value. I hope you are good. During the execution of the program, we keep changing the value as per your requirement. Okay. What is the naming convention we have to follow? Variable names using lower example, EMP name, salary, amount, industry, rating, like this. Why it is an error? This is how we are going to give. So variables are the names given to the memory location. So variable names are nothing but identifiers only. What is an identifier? Name given to a variable. Whatever the name we are giving to a variable is called identifier. So variable is also identifier only. Variable is also identifier. Right. But what is a variable? I am explaining here. Variable is an identifier. Variable name is an identifier name. But what is a variable? What is a variable? We got a temporary memory. That memory is referred with some identifier name, which is called variable. I hope you are good. I hope you are good with this. Okay. Okay. Next, we have syntax of defining a variable. How you define a variable? So understand the syntax. Data type, variable name, this is the syntax. Data type, variable name, equal to value, you may give, may not give. It is an option. Data type, variable name, okay. Now, let us look at this. Question is, what is data type? What is a data type? Data types in Salesforce is different from all the programming languages. Everybody is supposed to learn from scratch. Okay. What is a data type? First, let us understand what is a data type. Now, what is a variable? It is a name given to a memory location. What is the size of the memory? I told name given to a memory location. Name given to a memory location. Name given to a memory location. What is the size of the memory? Is it 4 bytes, 10 bytes, 1 TB, 100 GB? What is the size of that memory? Variable is a name given to a memory location. What is the size of that memory? I am not sure. It stores the data. What type of data? Is it a currency data, date, number, alphabet, string, boolean? What type of data is that? What type of data is stored? Not sure. Range of the data. Allows modification on the data. We can store the data and we can make the changes as per a requirement. What is the range of the data? What is the maximum value I can store? What is the minimum value I can store? So the definition of these 3 points are not given. Variable is not informing you how much amount of memory is given, what type of data is stored, what is the range of the data that is stored. Variable is not giving you the size of the memory, type of data, range of the data, we are not giving it. We are not giving it. To understand this, we are having a concept called data type. So what is a data type? It will specify how much amount of memory given to a variable, what type of data is stored in a variable, what is the range of the data that is stored in a data type. It will specify how much amount of memory is given to a variable, what type of data is stored in a variable, what type of data is stored in a variable, what is the range of the data that is stored in a variable, what is the range of the data that is stored in a variable, what is the range of the data that is stored in a variable, what is the range of the data that is stored in a variable. Right. There are different types of data types. What are they? In the Salesforce, we have different type of data types. Let me give primitive data types. Then we have collections. Then we have S objects. Objects created for Salesforce. Primitive data types, collections, S object, objects created for Salesforce defined Apex classes, objects created for user defined Apex classes, enum, null. These are the different type of data types. Now, refer to the first one. Primitive data types. When I say primitive data types, this will store the data. There are generally two things. One will store the data, other will store address. One will store the data, other will store address. Primitive data types will store data. First, let me give you first one, blob. What is a blob? Now we have a photo. I want to upload a photo. When you are taking a photo, I cannot upload the photo directly because the size of the photo is more. What I will do? I will convert that photo in the form of binary. Then I will store it. Now, if I want to upload a resume, it is a document. If you want to store a document, straight away it will not be stored. What will happen? The data in the document, whatever the resume we have, the content in the resume will be converted in the form of binary that is stored. Whenever we are storing the large data, if you are storing MB, KBs, then they need to be converted into binary format. Any data which is more than bytes, any data whose size is more than bytes, generally what we do, we convert them into binary, then store. Like you have PDF file, Word document, audio file, you have images. Otherwise, I want to encrypt my password. Whatever the password I have, I want to encrypt it. Then I have to convert in the form of binary. I have to convert in the form of binary. Now, if you are a CSC student, okay, you'll be finding okay, triple DS algorithm, RSA algorithm, right? What is that? Encryption techniques. Wherever we go for encryption, the data need to be converted in the form of binary. So if you want to encrypt the data, if you want to upload the documents, you want to upload the file, you want to upload the image, you want to upload the PDF file, Word document, all these need to be converted in the form of binary. Is the words clear? Okay. What is a blob? Blob is a data type. It is a collection of binary data under one object. If you want to refer to PDF, documents, images, then use. If you don't define the value, default value is blob. So whenever we are trying to upload images, PDF, documents, then we are going for a data type called blob. Blob is a data type. Then next we have Boolean. Boolean. It is used to store true or false value. If you don't define the value, it takes default. Boolean value, if you want to take, I take Boolean. Date. If you want to refer to a particular date, 10th January 2019, you want to refer to a particular date, then what is the data type we have? Date. This will refer to instance of a particular date on the calendar. Why I was using calendar? To tell you that it's a day, month, year. All the three together is a date. If you want to refer to any particular date, how we are going to give? Date dot new instance of like this we are giving new instance of how we are giving year, month, day. Date dot if you want to refer to today's date, date dot today's date. How you refer? System dot. If you want to, it's not data, it's a date. If you want to refer to a particular date, if you want to refer to a particular date, then we use date dot new instance of year, month, day. If you want to refer to date and time, you want to refer to date along with the time. Instance of particular date. This will refer to instance of particular date along with the time on the calendar. Date time. This will refer to instance of particular date along with the time on the calendar. We are going to give year, month, day, then hours, minutes, seconds. Current date and time. System dot. So we have blob, boolean, date, date time. We have next data type called time. We have taken date, we have taken date and time. If you want to refer to only time, no. How do you refer? If you want to we give time dot new instance of hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Now the next one, string. Next data type what I have is string. It is a collection of characters surrounded by in all these cases. If you don't assign any value, what is the default value? In all the case, it is a null. I can give a last one statement. If you don't assign any value, default value is for any data type, default value is null only. No need to mention separately. For every data type, default value is null. For every data type, default value is null. Length of the string is not defined. Default value is null. So we have string. So what are the data types we have seen? Blob, boolean, date, date time, string. Then we have ID. In the Salesforce, in the table, if you create any record, Salesforce will generate 18 character ID. Any valid 18 character ID generated by the Salesforce can be stored in this ID. What is ID? This will refer to any valid 18 character ID generated default value is null. We have the next one. What is the next one we had? We had integer. What is this integer? We have integer. What is that integer? It is a 32-bit number. It can store any numerical value. It can store any numerical value without decimal point. Maximum value we can store is 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. Maximum value we can store is 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. Why? There are 32 bits. When you have 32 bits, whenever we are storing a numerical value, let us say I have 4 bits. When you have 4 bits, last bit is always used for sign of the number. So how many bits are left? 3 bits. So maximum value we can store is 2 to the power of 3 minus 1. If there are 4 bits, maximum value what we can store is 2 to the power of 3 minus 1. Now we have 32 bits. 1 bit will be left for sign. So 2 to the power of 31 minus 1 is the maximum value. So it is a numerical value. It can store any numerical value without decimal point. Maximum value is 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. Default value. If I don't assign any value, next we have long. What is the long? Same story. Only the point is it is 64 bits. Now 64 bits, if you want to take any value more than 2 to the power of 31, any value more than 2 to the power of 31, I'll go for. So any numerical value without a decimal point, I will go with long. Decimal. Decimal. So it's a 32-bit number. It is used to store any numerical value with decimal. Default value is null. Then we have double. Same story, 64 bits. So if you want to take with a decimal point, decimal or double, without decimal point, integer or long. Last one we have it will support store any type of data that is supported by Apex. It can support any type of data that is supported by Apex. See, when you are sure it is a string, you will take string. When you are sure it is an integer, you will take integer. When you are not sure what type of value we are getting, one time we are getting string, one time we are getting decimal, one time we are getting a boolean, I will take object. Now if you always get integer, I will take integer. If you always get decimal, I will take decimal. One time you are getting integer, one time you are getting a long, one time you are getting a decimal, one time you are getting a boolean, then I will go for object. When you are not sure what format of data we are getting, when you are not sure what format of data we are getting, I will go for object. You are clear about it? When you are sure, I will take that particular data type. When you are not sure, I will define it as object. I hope you are good with this. So let us take some examples here to understand. Now I have so let us take this. What is the data type of this? If I want to store 1,000, what type of data type you have to take? Integer. This is what? Decimal. And this is string. This is now. Other than digits, if you find anything else, it is going to be what? String. Alphabets are there, string. Now tell me this. Now, not only digits, we have special symbol. If you find anything other than digits, it's supposed to be what? Now it is what? Only zeros and ones. Blob, binary, zeros and ones, binary data. This is now depends upon the data. We have to decide what is the data type. Now they ask me to collect some data, boss. Now I am giving Ravi, CSC, CBIT, 2009, someone 90, 32.4. Then they have so what is the format we had? We had string, what is the format we had? This is someone 90, right. This is. So first you decide what is the type of data we are going to get. Generally the problem what we have in the programming is we define the variable and ask why are you taking string. First understand what is the format of the data we are going to get. Then based on the format you have to decide data type. Are you getting my point here? Is that was clear? Okay. Now let us take the next example. I want to collect some data about a college, or else I want to collect some data about employee. What is the data you want to collect? Name, age, experience, date of birth, phone number, technology, company name, date of joining, right? Then I have some salary. Now, when I ask you to write a data type, you should not do it straight away. Now, what is the data type of the name? Like, let's say, what is the data type of an age? Right. Now, that's what. How can you tell? I want to take like this. I want to take it like this. This is what we should not presume it. First, you need to understand what is the format of the data you are expected in the program. What is the format of the data you are expected in the program? Then I have to define the data type. Now, tell me what is the data type of this phone? Right. Now, I will take like this. Right. Now, you cannot give it. That's what I'm saying. Now, looking at this, what you want to collect, you cannot take a decision that it is a string or integer or decimal. Now, when I want to say collect the data, first you need to confirm what is the format in which the data is coming. Now, I told name will be something like Sham and Ram. Now, age, they told they want to take it as 10, 20. Experience, now tell me what is this? Now I will take 2, 3, it becomes integer. Now when I take 3.2, 4.6, become decimal. Now you need to understand what in the programming, what is the format you are expecting. Based on that, we have to take a call. Now always experience is not decimal. Always experience is not integer. What is the format in which you are looking at? Now date of birth. Phone, I want to take technology, they want to give Java, company, they want to give Wipro, date of joining. Now you decide what is the format? String, integer, string, now Java we give string, string, I hope you are good with this. So when you want to collect the data, what is the format of the data we are expecting? According to that, define a data type followed by a variable. In that, string is what? String is data type, variable is name. Integer is data type, age is variable. Decimal, data type, experience is variable. Date, data type, DOB, variable. Data type, variable. Data type, variable. I hope you are good with this. Okay. So what is a variable? Salary, date of joining, company, technology, all these are variables. Data types, string, integer, decimal, date, all these are data types. I hope you are good with this. Now collect the data about a product. I want to know product name, product code, price, discount. Now create this. Now create it. Define the variables and the data types. Define the variables and the data type. Define the variables and data types. Right. Let us go to the next one. Create the formats. We had string, I7 I give. Now the people who are very new to the programming, we are discussing this all for you. If you have any queries, get them clarified. People who are very new to the programming, if you have any queries, get them clarified. So this is how we are creating data types and the corresponding variables. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Right. Any variable created with the primitive data type, any variable which are created with the data type primitive, they are called primitive variables. What is the primitive variables? Variables whose data type is primitive. So if the data type of the variable is a primitive, we call as a, if the data type of a variable is a primitive, we call it as a primitive variables. If the data type of the variable then we call as primitive variables. Other than primitive variables, rest all are called a reference variable. Other than primitive variables, rest all the variables are called reference variable. Other than primitive variables, rest all the variables are called reference variable. Other than primitive variables, rest all the variables are called reference variable. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Clear? Am I clear with this? So fine. So that's all.
Satish.
1 minute, Amma.
Hello.
1 minute. I'll answer your query. Just give me something. Right. Classroom people, any other queries from your end? Yes. It is a data type. Record ID. In the Salesforce, you are getting a record, right? If you want to store the ID, like how you are taking integer here, I want to store a record ID. Let's say opportunity ID. How do you do it? If you want to store ID of the record, we take ID. Right. Any other queries from classroom? Right. In a single class, entire development will not be covered. One by one, we are covering it. Okay. Right. Any other query from classroom? Right. Yeah. That's not sandbox. It's nothing to do with it. It's a functionality in Apex. Instance of force.com, that is. This is instance of date. You're merging two different environments. Okay. That's all from my end. Yes, what is your query? Class will be on Monday. Your regular classes will be from Monday to Friday. Okay. Yes, online, go ahead now.
The date format always will be like 10 now
Year,
2008, 10, 11, 2008.
Exactly. Always it will be year, month, date. The format in which we view should be always year, month, date.
Okay, thank you.
What is your query, Amma? 1 minute. 8:30 batch. 8:30 batch. 8:30 batch. Tomorrow morning 7 to 8:30 we'll be having a class. Maybe I'll be starting at 7:15. 7:15 to 9. 7:15 to 9 I'll be taking. Tomorrow we'll be finishing couple of concepts which are pending from it. Admin topics. 8:30 admin topics which are pending. Tomorrow I'm going to cover 7:15 to 9 o'clock. 7:15 to 9 o'clock I'll be taking class tomorrow. 8:30 morning, 7:15 to 9 o'clock I'll be taking a class for admin people. 8:30 admin course you have taken. The pending topics are there. Tomorrow 7:15 to 9 o'clock I'll be taking the class. Development class will be on Monday again. Tomorrow we'll be going to cover some pending topics which are available in admin. 1 minute. 7:15 a.m. IST. Yes, what's it?